Hi everybody, Art Hoehn with Hoehn on Homes. Today we're going to talk a little bit about foreclosures. A lot of people these days are asking questions about foreclosures. Before we do that, I want to set the stage a little bit for what a foreclosure is. Most of the time these days, people are actually purchasing a foreclosure from a court, which is actually just a part of the foreclosure process. So when you make an offer these days, most of the time you end up in court and a judge, a court of law, needs to approve that sale. There's a third party involved. So with that as a backdrop, let's answer some questions. There's basically three aspects to that question that I'd like to answer. Number one is that in a foreclosure, you're basically dealing with a financial institution as opposed to individuals who are selling their home. It's less emotional and really becomes much more about numbers. The second aspect is that you actually may not get it. Your offer goes to court and the judge, for whatever reason, may not approve your sale. So in the end, you don't get what you thought you had. And then of course the last aspect is a lengthier process. It is much more involved legally speaking. I think it really matters if it's vacant or occupied. First of all, if it's vacant, it's pretty straightforward. You set your dates, and if your contract is agreed on by the judge, then you basically move in on those dates with very little risk to change to the property. If the property's occupied, that's a whole different ballgame. We need to determine if it's tenant occupied, because then obviously tenant rights apply, and if it is occupied by a previous owner, then there are certain risk elements with that need to be covered off in the contract. It's often said in real estate that you don't know until you ask. Well, this is one area of real estate that you can't really ask. Appliances are never a part of a financial charge in the first place, as the house is. So therefore, they're privately owned and, in fact, cannot be included in the contract. That's actually the number one question that I get, and without pointing out the obvious, it's something that you cannot assume will be your best deal. There's a whole bunch of things behind the scenes, and I think there's a real onus on the realtor to do the research involved in terms of market value, why is the property in foreclosure, what issues might there be with the house, and really to kind of guide you through that process. Once you get to the end of that process, I think you'll know whether you've actually gotten a better deal or not. Well, the realtor's part in this is really a before, during, and after role. Before is really determining market value, doing a market evaluation for you, the buyer, on the property that you're buying. Also, a whole bunch of other research, home inspections, appraisals. There's often issues with homes because they've been let go, and so before you even get into the contract, there's a whole bunch of things that need to be determined. And then that leads me into the contract. It's not quite like writing it on a napkin and sliding it over to the judge. It's a very legal process. It has to be done precisely so that your offer is not thrown out of court. And then finally there's the follow-up after court. Once you get the property, we want to make sure that it transitions smoothly into your name, and also that your ultimate moving date is a smooth date. There you have it, folks. I hope I've answered at least some basic questions for you on foreclosures. If you'd like a list of foreclosures to drive by, just contact me on the number on your screen. I'll be happy to send those to you. If you'd like to hear some more videos that may be helpful for you, just check me out on Facebook. This is Art Hoehn with Hoehn on Homes. Thanks for tuning in.